All right, boys and girls, we have another losers match coming up. So once again, we're here in the B stream for Dreamhack Austin, and we have Cognitive playing against TempoStorm. We're covering all of the matches that the mainstream can't handle because they're too awesome. And one of the games is Cognitive versus TempoStorm with our first map, Infernal Shrines. And as mentioned before, it's the losers match, meaning whichever team loses is out of the tournament. And TempoStorm, they ban out Sonya, already indicating that they would really like to play Illidan here on the map. And Cognitive might use the opportunity to ban him out, which would still leave a Kalthas open for TempoStorm, of course. But we're getting a little bit ahead of the draft. I'm also not alone today. I'm with Tetcher once again. We're going to bring you the coverage here between Cognitive and TempoStorm.
Yeah, and it's going to be, like you said, the first ban, very, very important for Cognitive. It's just a question of, do they feel they have a composition that can really deal with the Illidan, or are they comfortable giving it over to TempoStorm? Right now, it looks like they're going to let both through, and that's actually really cool, because it means they're going to get one of them as well, which everyone TempoStorm does not prioritize.
That's a horrible ban for Infernal Shrines.
I guess, yeah, that's more like it.
Yeah, that's more like it. If you really want to, if you're okay letting the Illidan through, then deny the Tacita to him. I like that a lot more. But like banning Li Ming on Infernal Shrines, the priority that she has for some teams on this map is just absolutely incredible. I can't really understand it. So I really like that switch from Li Ming ban to Tacita. And now Tempo Storm, they have a bit of a more difficult situation, decision to make. But they still say, nah, doesn't matter, double support, single support. Illidan is our boy, and we're going for him. But Cognitive, of course, can therefore lock down Kalthas, and they secure themselves a good counterplay against Illidan with Reparation.
Yeah, the Muradin going to be very, very strong here, and now it is up to TempoStorm to really start building their composition around Illidan, because they've basically decided their comp from their first pick and told Cognitive, you work around this.
Mm-hmm. And TempoStorm, of course, they need to think about what they want to play with Illidan here. Now, there's a couple of ways how you can actually approach it at this time. First of all, they would probably be well advised to pick one of their healers right now. ETC works always well with Illidan. They can go into a Divine Shield right now with an Uther, or they can just simply drop the Rhaegar, but they should definitely go for one of the two healers at this point. If they want to play some kind of double support setup, then I guess picking a Tyrande early would really work well for them too. But they need to pick something, a big healer would work, but double setup apparently it is. Tyrande setup would also help them with an early lockdown thanks to ETC Tyrande, and then they can simply add the healer later on in the game.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense for them here. And you mentioned the ETC, how it works very well with Illidan. It is actually it is a very big deal running the ETC, because, like you said, works over Illidan, allows someone to dive with him. He gives Rockstar to Illidan, which is the increased attack speed bonus, and it just prevents him from being picked against you, where a mosh pit will just end Illidan if you catch him in it.
There are a couple of CC tanks that we have in the game. Muradin, ETC are the two most popular ones, and usually if you give one away, you're trying to aim for the other. TempoStorm is banning out Uther, so that still leaves Rhaegar for Cognitive, and apparently TempoStorm is completely fine with both of the main healers being gone. That means that they are likely to jump into either a Charism against Kalthas, or they are looking more towards something along the lines of, well, Brightwing or Malfurion, depending on how they want to play it here. It's not really a surprise that Cognitive picks up the Rhaegar, but TempoStorm with that draft definitely knew that would happen. I mean, there's no way they didn't know that with them banning out Uther, Rhaegar would immediately be picked up by their opponent.
In theory, Cognitive could actually pick Kharazim here as well as the melee assassin, but we haven't seen a melee assassin Kharazim in quite a while. Very much appears to have fallen quite a bit out of favor. Sylvanas, though, on the other hand, Cognitive very much like her. A lot of the teams today have very much been liking Sylvanas. She's strong, good science, counter to the mosh pit, and she has a load of abilities that go past the Illidan evasion.
She's absolutely amazing here right now. I mean, in this case, if you get the Punisher, once again, you can just like do so much damage, and she is incredible for all of these maps where you try to get like a big objective, like an Immortal, a Dragonite, where you would try to go for a Punisher. So she can really add a lot of value here. She also has quite a bit of AoE that she can spam out there. And when she goes barbed shot, she can just like simply blast those minions away when they are fighting for the shrine. Also, a silence against Illidan is of course always great. TempoStorm, then again, I mean, they would need also a range damage dealer. We can talk about, a Jaina in addition. I haven't seen her in quite some time, but of course Jaina, with that burst damage and that lockdown that we're having here, Tyrande ETC stun combo, she can actually deliver a lot of damage on point. And yeah, it's cool to having our Blondie back.
Yeah,
And I'm not talking Kalthas.
he never left. Well, he did. He actually did for a bit, but yeah, we have both of the majors back. This is looking very similar. Like, remove the Sylvanas, and this is looking very similar to like comps you'd see a couple weeks ago. Sorry, not weeks, months ago.
Fire and Ice, the battle between the two here. But now TempoStorm. TempoStorm have still to think about what they are going to do when it comes to heals. And as we said, there's 3 possible choices, I'd say. Malfurion, which we talked about, which I would like against Kalthas as well. So together with Tyrande, I feel that would be enough for him. They have also a couple of things that they can really utilize here. Charism is an option. I'm not quite sure if I would like that in this particular setup, though. They go for Malfurion, and I like it. I feel one of the things that they could have gone for was also the Brightwing, and I am loving the curveball that Cognitive is all of a sudden throwing them.
Yeah, and this is something that we actually have seen banned out today in and against similar lineups. So the Kerrigan, very interesting. We've seen it used against Illidan's before, and it's huge amounts of extra lockdown, very effective, and just adds so much snipe potential, especially when you're running it with that Muradin.
This just became super cool. Cognitive versus TempoStorm, ladies and gentlemen. Game number 1. Let's find out which team is going to take the lead here on Infernal Shrines, our first map in the best of 3 series. Game number 1, everybody. Cognitive versus TempoStorm. We have our best of 3 at hand here, and to the left side of the map we are now seeing Muradin plagued by a Caterpillar. We have Sylvanas played by Corson Luck, Faye on Kalthas, Ayakona on Rega, and Glorang on Kerrigan. He's back on Kerrigan here, and this is going to be a very interesting game. Malfurion a bit as a counter to Kalthas, but also, of course, to just like help especially Illidan out here. Played by 6 for TempoStorm, Erho on ETC, Tomster on Illidan. We're seeing KO on Jaina, and Goku is playing Tyrande. Boys and girls, this is going to be a good one, and we have Infernal Shrines as our starting map, with right now Kerrigan going straight into the Ravage build, of course.
Yeah, this is basically the only build we see on Kerrigan. We see on the very odd occasion slight variances on some levels, but overall, the Siphoning Impact and then the Reset talent, basically, where you get your mana back and get the increased damage, are the main 2 we see most of the time.
Yeah, well, at the bot lane, already a bit of a setup. Admiral Akbar and TempoStorm immediately. It's a trap! But they didn't even fall for it, so that was just like no problem. Sylvanas at the top lane, soaking experience, just staying in the bush there, not really moving out. Of course, with Kerrigan on the map, you're always a little bit cautious, since you know that your opponent might just like try and jump you. The Countess is already starting to move in, but Erho is also there, and they're going for ETC. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is why Sylvanas, while Jaina was for the longest time played together with the Stunlock composition around Toronto.
And she still does. Like, that's it, but it's the only composition she is picked in now. And will Kerrigan get out? Nope, deleted. And that is a scary comp.
Yep, it definitely is, because that Malfurion is not only going to add a lot of heals, but he also has another root there. And this 4-man roam that we are currently seeing here is completely dominating a Kerrigan composition, which is kind of supposed to do that in the early game. And guess what? It's a 3-0 already. Like, what?
Another one bites the dust. TempoStorm showing some serious dominance with this snipe comp. It's working very well. And I'd like to point out, the Malfurion and the Jaina roaming together, Malfurion is just giving Jaina mana. So even though they're going for these very quick bursts, spamming out a lot of abilities for wave clear and for hero kills, Jaina's actually sustaining this very well.
Yeah, Malfurion is just playing Jaina's sugar daddy here, just like pushing mana over the entire time. We're having also the first shrine now up on the map, and that means once again Punisher time. Interestingly enough, even though we had this many kills, in experience we are still seeing a slight lead for Cognitive. So it's a 3-0 in kills, but Cognitive is on the exact same level of experience here. But they had to stick Sylvanas to the top lane a little bit longer, which now is allowing once again them to jump in. By the way, level 4 talent, Snowstorm here has been chosen. And again, that setup potentially with ETC looking for a good pre-stun to allow Tyrande to do her thing.
Yeah, and Cognitive, not really sure why they're fighting here. They're so far behind in terms of this Punisher. They're not really getting anything out of this. They're not going for snipe kills. They're just sort of hanging around making XP here.
Yeah, Punisher has been taken. The bombs, of course, are spreading a little bit. But immediately the first thing that happens is that we are seeing rotations to the top and to the bottom. They're trying to get the experience. The thing is, though, that both of the teams are actually doing that. We're having Illidan moving up to the top lane. And the funny thing is that we're having an Illidan composition, and so far we haven't really talked about the danger of Illidan. We've just simply talked about all that stun lock and that burst damage that we're seeing with the Jaina. And that kind of says a lot about the comp that is being played. This is some scary stuff here.
It is very, very scary. So for now, TempoStorm, this is why they were behind in XP, because they weren't actually in lane that often. They were just roaming as a group. And look at this, Jaina showing herself every now and again, trying to bait. It's like, hey, I'm the only person here. Now Mouth as well. Tranda and ETC, those staying hidden, but they know what's in there. But Kerrigan getting the good stuff. They're setting up. Malfurion taking a lot of damage, but immediately the burst onto Kerrigan. She gets taken out.
Get wrecked. Totally annihilated. Kerrigan even trying to jump out here. That did not work whatsoever. So yeah, this is some scary stuff, and they are getting completely obliterated. And let's keep in mind that we are always talking about an Illidan composition picking up pace during the late game. Right now, they are dominating the early game already.
Yeah, this is true, but we have to point out that Illidan doesn't have as much protection, or at least the style of protection he would usually have for the late game. But he still does have the double healers, and Malfurion taking a talent specifically for Illidan, that rampant growth, the initial heal of the regrowth increased by 50%, which is important for Illidan because burst healing is very helpful to keep him alive.
Yeah, and also that cleanse, of course, against Kerrigan, a great talent to begin with, but then you have also Muradin and Kel'Thas with additional stuns in there. Talking stuns, by the way, whoop, and gone. This is basically just whack-a-mole. Every single time there's one hero that pops out his head a little bit too much, and there's just one of these bad boys ready for a stun. There's another death. Like, they are turning Infernal Shrines into a graveyard right now. It's a 5-0, 5 minutes into the game.
Yeah, they're getting a kill a minute, and I'm pretty sure they can probably keep up that pace if they keep playing this well. Objective in the top lane, and the talents are currently both even on the level 7 talents, but the level advantage is in favor of TempoStorm. But once again, still not by that much. Cognitive still managing to keep up in terms of levels.
Yeah, Snowstorm and Frostbitten are now taken on Jaina after she started with the Conjurer's Pursuit. No talent taken yet for Rhaegar. We're seeing Ayakona, of course, like waiting with her ability just a bit. We have Sunfire Enchantment after mana tap taken. So a full focus on the Verdant Spheres for Kel'Thas. And with the barbed shot, Sylvanas has the chance to go for a bit of extra damage against the minions. The first time that actually one of these heroes finally escaped, it's Muradin who's able to hop out. And this is actually the crazy part of all of this, that even though Muradin is one of the tankiest tanks, we are not seeing TempoStorm being afraid at all to try and focus him down, because they know if they sync it up perfectly, he doesn't stand a chance here.
Yeah, there's a couple heroes you can do this on. Usually Muradin isn't one of them. Like you can see that on Leoric, Muradin actually getting burst down quite a bit here. Once again, will just tag through this time. But TempoStorm just change targets. They get down Kerrigan and very nearly get Muradin too.
It's like, Kerry who? It's just every single time you think that Kerrigan is the one. Yeah, Kerrigan, exactly. Every single time this starts, you really think about Kerrigan being like the really threatening factor in all of this, but she just isn't. She's always dying here. One of the reasons why Muradin was escaping earlier was also the cleanse that we saw, but now cleanse was on cooldown, and that's one of the reasons why Kerrigan couldn't even get away. The body block, of course, helping as well. But they are so close to level 10 right now, and it's the second Punisher that's pushing through for them now too. 6 kills against 0. This is getting out of hand.
It's getting very out of hand. They are slowly slowing down. They're kind of slowing down for their 1 kill a minute thing. They're about to hit 7 minutes with only 6 kills. Need to step it up, TempoStorm. You're ruining it.
Yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. I completely agree with you, Tetcher. They're slacking.
TempoStorm's so bad.
These slackers, like, what's happening, boys?
TempoStorm in a sum, confirmed. So by Twitch chat.
Well, for now, in this case, we have Ring of Frost taken. We have also, at the same time, the Starfall. We are seeing Metamorphosis, Moshpit, and Tranquility. And we have seen some crazy comebacks, but now it's level 10 versus level 10 time, and I mean that experience lead that we see on the map, it's slowly and steadily getting there. They're actually trying to go for a bit of a trap at this point, but we have now the level 10s also being put on the board for their opponent, for Cognitive. And in this case now, Phoenix, Wailing Arrow, Avatar, Ayakona is still trying to track us, but it is of course going to be the Ancestral Healing here and nothing else. I mean, blah. They are now fighting for that particular camp though, and Arho is currently like waiting it out a bit. Illidan is starting to make his way in, and that's really the moment when they can go straight for another kill. Guess what? Caterpillar is most likely, yeah, he's not going to make it. He's down, but so is Tyrande.
Whoa,
and
Kerrigan.
It's a double kill. Airhole with a mosh pit. They try to go for another one, and all of a sudden, the entire lineup of TempoStorm, with the exception of Illidan, got wrecked.
Kerrigan, remember, she can do damage. She actually just went in there with her heroic and just cleaned house. Did so much damage. They lost Muradin for it, but he was able to pop Avatar and just absorb so many abilities from TempoStorm there.
He was actually like really well done. It's like EWWE. Like, how do you do that again? Oh yeah, it works. That looks great. So Kerrigan all of a sudden with the works here. But yeah, that was of course not really what they were hoping for. They were waiting for Illidan. TempoStorm was like delaying it for a long time. And then they get the immediate kill against Muradin. But Kerrigan was just going full ham on them. And she already died 3 times earlier in the game. But this was of course like a beautiful fight for them. And just look how fast they turned it around. And now all of a sudden ahead in experience by half the level.
Yeah, and that was the thing. They had all these kills against them, and they were still almost even on experience. This is just, and now they're actually getting kills. This is why what Cognitive are doing to start to draw ahead. And I'm still wondering where on earth they found this experience, despite losing so many people in the early game.
It's just that lane soak that they never lost. Even when the hero in the lane was taken down, they had someone else to make sure that they did not lose any lane experience here. We are seeing, by the way, Fission Bomb taken, already indicating that we're going to go into level 20 on those two. Eviscerate now for the extra range, the Earth Shield, Wind Runner, and they are really ready to fight for this one. Nice cleanse on Faye, but she is down before the Ancestral hits. Kerrigan already using her Maelstrom, trying to get the stun locks in, but in a 4 versus 5 scenario, even with being 1 talent up, they are not ready for this. Illidan goes in, the root on Cattle, and this time the Ancestral is true, but they are still in complete control over the Shrine.
Yeah, objective looking like it's going to go over to TempoStorm here, and they may get Muradin. No, Dwarf Toss is used. Silence is used from the Sylvanas. Ring of Frost coming down, hits no one. But there is the Mosh Pit. That is a dead Kerrigan, and maybe a dead Sylvanas. She actually accidentally walked into it as well, but on stun doesn't land. And down with the body blocks, though the Haunting Wave will allow Cawthon to escape.
Yeah, Illidan doing Illidan things here, aka killing stuff. But we have also now the Punisher up again. At the top lane at least, there was a couple of like minions pushing in, and this camp is actually doing some severe damage. Both of the teams are now on level 13. We're still seeing also damage pushed in by that Khaldor camp at the bottom that is finally dealt with. That was long overdue if you ask me. We're seeing now Ice Block, we have Spell Shield, so a lot of really cool talents, and especially survival talents, with Jaina increasing the range on her Blizzard even, just to make sure that she can stay a little bit farther in the back.
Yeah, just giving her massive poke with that Stormfront. Talent we don't usually see, or at least we didn't used to see, because it's on the same level as like Icy Veins, which is a spam ability, and it used to be on the same level as Ice Block as well, which was the only talent to take if you wanted to stay alive. So this is just one of the more solid safety talents now.
Faye actually took that talent a lot. When she played Jaina, she went into a full Snowstorm or Blizzard build, even going for the 3rd wave occasionally, which was pretty incredible here. But now we have both of the teams looking for kills. It's actually a very kill-heavy game if you think about it. I mean, we have 30 kills in the game, and we are only 12 minutes in, not even. Sylvanas is currently trying to utilize her trade, of course, at the bot lane, starting to pressure. So they were looking for an even exchange in sports, but we are seeing TempoStorm moving back down. They are actually going to try and pick a fight.
Yeah, and this is the issue. TempoStorm were threatening top lane, but then realized, oh wait, they have a Sylvanas. We can't really just leave that alone. So they're just letting the Mercenary camp push top on its own. They're moving down to defend their stuff, but they've already lost the fort for this.
Yeah, they lost the fort, and at the top lane the camp might be pushing in, but Muradin is already on his way to de-push that. So very nice rotations here on the map by Cognitive. I really like the way that they're playing the map, that they're moving around it. But when it comes to the kills, we still have the better numbers for TempoStorm. They're doing incredibly well with that stun lock that they have, and Illidan, of course, is just another huge threat to Cognitive's setup.
Yeah, they need to deal with him as quick as they can, but the issue is the biggest priority for them is to not die in like 4 seconds. Because that is the issue.
Definitely true. 16 is the big goal here, but Illidan attacked, yes, denying the damage. They are dropping a few of these towers, both of the teams very close to 16, but a slight lead still for Cognitive. And once more, we're having TempoStorm moving to the top, where they also have another camp or another wave that they can take down. The next talent is going to be incredibly important, and the Shrine is activating in just another 16 seconds.
Heroics, though, available for both teams. Kale Flash now at his main damage talent here, the Sun King's Fury. The idea of this build, basically full auto attack. Just spam Verdant Spheres and spam Living Bombs. That is the idea of this build. We'll see if that can work out for him, because it's going to massively increase his damage count. TempoStorm avoiding the fight until they get their level 16s, which will be any second now, thanks to ETC soaking in the top lane, but both teams with all heroics available.
Aggressive defense for Kerrigan, no essence for essence taken by her. We're seeing hardened focus for Malfurion, and they're trying to go straight in for the kill once again with Mark for Death on Illidan. We're seeing the Northern Exposure and the Ranger, and here comes the Mosh Pit. Oh my god,
Whoa.
The double kill. So much damage stacked up with the Ring of Frost and everything else. They just simply dropped on the Mosh with a Starfall here on top of it, and a triple kill out of nowhere, more or less. I mean, that was close.
Yeah, that was beautiful. Just dropping a Ring of Frost directly on the people in the mosh pit and just annihilated them.
They just took a massive dump on Cognitive. Like, there's no other way to put it. Was everything just trapping them, and it was just like, here, have some more. I mean, at least we need to mention that the fort at the top lane during all of this was taken out by the mercenary camp that Jaina already annihilated now. But still, we are seeing 3 heroes just slowly coming back to the game. And, well, TempoStorm going through the middle to go at least for the wall at the end.
Yeah, TempoStorm, they have their level 6. They got their level 16 Titans just before that fight went in, and that was very, very important for them. They have the Northern Exposure, that vulnerable speed meant for ATC, which allows them to get some good chase potential and a bit of extra escape for once they've engaged. Hardened focus for Malfurion. I very much like this. Just spam out those heals, spam out that mana, due to a lot of the heroes being quite mana intensive on the team.
So they get the wall for now. Oh, ETC might have overstayed a bit too much. Rushes away, spreading the bombs though. And yeah, that was quite a bit of damage that Khaldor was able to dish out here. And Aho is actually not out of it just yet. He will be able to escape.
Yeah, that was a very... Kerrigan really coming into her own here, getting some very nice engages. And she has been doing quite well, but ETC has been on point with the face melts as the disengage here, which... is quite important here. He did take the guitar hero as well, which is actually just the extra healing. I'm kind of surprised he didn't take the extra CC reduction.
The interesting part, by the way, is also that we're having 28,000 damage as the highest hero damage by Tyrande in this game. Those Starfalls definitely doing work, especially comboed with the Mosh Pit, so that nobody's running out of them.
Yeah, Kale has been doing some okay damage, same as Sylvanas though, but it's pretty intense amount of damage from that Tyrande, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, for sure. We are seeing at the same time now again these chain moves, of course, becoming a massive threat then later on. But look at that experience lead. It's an entire level that we already see for them. If they can maybe pick another kill here and head towards the level 20, that would be the dream for TempoStorm right now. They have 12 kills against 4. I have again to give some credit to Cognitive, who despite the fact that they're way behind in kills, are still able to stay fairly close to the experience amount that we're seeing for TempoStorm. Yeah. When it comes to experience soak and moving the map, these guys definitely know what they're doing.
This is the first time I think I've seen a Cognitive with a lower level number than TempoStorm for more than about 30 seconds.
Yeah, and that's with them being 8 kills behind, and they lost 2 Punishers, so that's pretty impressive there. But still, it doesn't deny the fact that we are currently seeing TempoStorm being ahead in this. At the top lane, Kerrigan is already trying to defend against the Bruiser camp that has been taken earlier, the Shaman camp. Bot lane pressure now, thanks to Cawthon. They're all trying to go for experience. The 20s are close, and it looks a little bit like we have just trap after trap set up to try and bait someone on the side of Cognitive to overextend and go for the potential easy kill that could turn immediately against them.
Yeah, and Cognitive. Muradin sort of has been found in the mid lane, but neither him or Arrow are in any huge particular danger. A lot of people hanging around the area, not taking the risk, and actually TempoStorm just going to ignore the objective this time. They're just going to push bot lane very aggressively, but this is difficult and very risky to do because once again, Sylvanas is a thing, so Cognitive getting 2 lanes out of this.
They want to have that 20, and they are starting to move in right now. They think they're going to get it here. They have the stun potential against all of these heroes. They're trying to use it. 1, 2, and... Wow! AIR corner again with a cleanse here, keeping Cattle alive, but they are chasing them, and now they have their 20s with a demonic form. Storm Shield, 2 of them. Again, Ancestral just barely keeping him alive, and here comes that Mosh and all the damage!
Yeah, TempoStorm with the damage taken out too. They get the root onto Faye, focusing her down, using her basically as a pinball with ETC there, and they are able to take her down as well. And that is 3 kills coming out for TempoStorm. Going to leave Illidan in the top lane to finish off what just completely ruin all of Kerrigan's hard work. And it looks like they may actually get another kill as well. Icona going down.
Wow. Like, they are definitely not getting around here. Illidan is at the top lane and they are already moving straight into the middle and saying, okay, this keep is ours no matter what happens here. They even get the kill against Rhaegar. They nearly killed Sylvanas too, but she barely escaped here. Now with the double support and even the shields that they have, they are just simply going for the first keep with the Immortal at the top, sorry, the Punisher. They could then still go for a second one. This is actually 2 Storm Shields that were used right now, and they are not even afraid to drop both of them, since they can just recover the cooldowns while they are working on the Immortal and going straight for another keep, or another fort first of all, before they push into the keep itself. And they're also trying to claim that camp, which is maybe a little bit too much. Like, they agree too hard here, and they agree, especially with Malfurion already back for mana. They are simply moving up to the top, waiting for the rest, delaying it a little bit, and now going with the Mortar Punisher to drop a few more structures.
Yeah, and they're going to be able to get at minimum the fort, probably the keep as well, actually, if they can get a good engage, thanks to having that level 20, which they can go in for. The Storm Shields are already back off cooldown, so they can use them when they go in, and everything else is prepared except for Mosh Pit, which will still have 20 seconds left.
So they're starting to push in up at the top. There's no way to get level 20, of course, on the side of Cognitive, but they are going to try and defend here as best as they can. And I tell you one thing, it's not going to be easy for them, not at all, because this is pain. This is a lot of pressure play, and one wrong move and you get locked down by the Punisher just for one moment, and everybody else will be on you and drop you immediately.
Yeah, here comes Phoenix. ETC with the bolt, but actually catches no one here. A lot of focus suddenly coming down onto him, and Kerrigan trying to do something, gets stunned out by the Punisher. Illidan coming in to try and capitalize on this fight. Muradin actually not the person he really wanted to dive on to get stunned out. Punisher already dead. Keep will die, but Thompson's getting focused here.
Yeah, he's getting focused, he's getting dropped down, goes Illidan, and that might be the chance for Cognitive to turn this around. Stuns are happening, Kerrigan is in a little bit of trouble, but the dead kill against Malfurion, it's a double kill, and they have that 20, they're going for the lockdown against KO, and he is going to fall for sure. Erho is trying to somehow get away, and at the same time we saw Jaina sacrificing herself here to make sure that at least ETC has a chance of getting away there, but that might not happen either. Master of Flames has been taken on 20, they are trying to go for the pressure play right now. They jump into the middle and we see Cognitive trying to just rush in and do as much damage as they can. Are they attempting to go even for core here? With Sylvanas, they might be trying to. 20 seconds on Khaldor and Tetcher. How far can they go with this?
They definitely can't go for core, but they can absolutely go for a keep here with that Sylvanas and try to take that. ETC is around here, but Mosh Pit's nowhere near ready. So many heroes still on cooldown for revive, but to go for a core here would basically be throwing away the game for them, I feel. Be way too risky, and as such, they take the keep, put some counter pressure onto TempoStorm, and they run the hell away. They're not going to risk a huge advantage they just got, or a huge jump back into the game for just trying to be greedy.
2 keeps down against 1, and of course the next Punisher positioning is going to be incredibly important. Is it going to be the mid lane maybe even, where we could see the game ending, no matter which team claims the Punisher? So there's a huge opening right now where you can go for it, and it is the middle. This fight can decide everything. Which team is going to be winning the Punisher? Which team is going to go straight for the core with it? Because this might end the game right here. Chances are that the winner of the next team fight is going to also win this first game in the best of 3 series. And both teams are waiting for an opportunity now to start the fight off with a kill.
Yeah, but Cognitive having issues with their top lane, currently being pushed in hard. There's the stun onto ETC. Mosh Pit is available, so if they group up, Kerrigan in the backline doing huge amounts of damage. The staff, although dropping nice. Ring of Frost doesn't catch anyone here.
Kerrigan is healed by the Ancestral Healing. Tomsta is low and he is down with Illidan dead. This is a disaster. Malfurion is about to drop, but Kerrigan is also dead. Malfurion trying to get away, but it's not looking good for him. Yep, the old geezer is down. 10,000 years, it was about time. And now we have just everyone else rushing towards that shrine that is active. But keep this one camp in mind. And also the catapults here.
So many catapults,
Hit points on the core are already dropped. dropping. They're down to 74%, and everybody else is going straight for the Punisher now.
Thank God for Sylvanas there, really just saving her team that game. But it's currently 4 versus 3 in favor of Cognitive, considering like how iffy that looked a little bit earlier. But now they are bringing some serious play. They're not even using Sylvanas for this Punisher. She's still just in the lanes, clearing everything.
Yeah, and we have camps taken instead now at the bot lane, apparently trying to pressure the last keep that is on the map for Cognitive. It's interesting how this game actually turned around with one single fight. They were getting a bit too greedy there with Erho trying to go for the Blink Mosh Pit at the attack at the top. They got the key, but they lost too many heroes on the way back, and Sylvanas punished them hard. And that's the strength of Sylvanas, punishing teams like this. Now we are seeing the Punisher about to be taken, and as we said before, this Punisher is going to go for core.
Yeah, it's going to head straight onto the core, but it doesn't look like we're actually going to see Cognitive all group up for it yet. They're actually playing very far back. I think they're just trying to avoid getting trapped here. So they're just waiting for everyone, or they're trying to prevent the backdoor into their own core due to it being so low after taking all those catapult hits.
Yeah, they are playing very safe. They were just trying to play safe so that there's no backdoor against them. But now they can move in with the Arcane Punisher, and an Arcane Punisher is doing so much work already. They are looking strong here, and well, at some point Erho will have to drop that one mosh pit that is going to end the game, or they are going to lose this one. They're jumping in once again. The Punisher is already at work. They're trying to bait it to the top. Not quite successful. It's on half HP. There's the mosh pit and the Ring of Frost. They get the kill against Rhaegar. The healer is down, and that means the end of Kel'Thas. This is exactly the kills that they needed, but they still might lose the game as everybody's dropping goals, the hit points on the core. But it's the kill against Kerrigan. It's still so close, and they are actually going to lose in Kerrigan. Everyone is dead, and GG, as we are seeing TempoStorm lose the game to Cognitive on Infernal Giants. Alright, everybody. Game number 2. TempoStorm just got, well, a little bit punished by Sylvanas, and we have Cognitive Gaming in the lead now, so that means that if they win on Tomb of the Spider Queen, then it's all over for TempoStorm and they are out of the tournament. Cognitive with a ban on Tyrande. Apparently they have had enough of all of that AoE damage that Tyrande can dish out. She was the highest damage dealer for TempoStorm in the last game. And of course, Tomb of the Spider Queen is a very different map when we are talking about drafts. Wave clear is absolutely key on this map.
Yeah, which is why I wouldn't expect to see a Kael'thas ban out of TempoStorm. Or actually, no, we could see that due to the fact it's still very strong. They kind of want it for themselves, but if they don't ban it now, it's very likely going to be picked by Cog.
There's a couple of things that we have seen on this map. We have actually also seen Illidan's played occasionally on Tomb of the Spider Queen, which is quite interesting, since for the longest time it was more or less like a rule that you don't play Illidan on this map. TempoStorm, they are afraid of Sylvanas. I can't really blame them after that last map. She's basically the one that punished them hard there. And Cognitive is currently thinking about Azul to get some push going on Tomb of the Spider Queen and get that wave clear started. We could see a Zagara, of course, as a bit of a countermeasure for TempoStorm, but the first thing that they're trying to lock down is a Kael'Thas, which has for a long time actually been a very solid hero on this map.
Yeah, Kael'Thas is just a solid hero in general at the moment, but like you said, he gives very good wave clear on this map and is still one of the highest prioritized assassins. Tassadar, also very popular on this map, good AoE damage, good vision, and solid protection for your team.
And also a very great hero when it comes against Zagara, but also when you want to enable someone like a Sonya, for example. So there's a couple of things that you can do with Tassadar this early in the draft. Tassadar is a very cool hero since he's extremely flexible in the way that you can use him. So TempoStorm could go into that pick here. I mean, there's a few options that they have. We've been talking about also like Wave Clear in particular. You can go for Thrall, you can go for Zagara. They seem to be heading into that early Muradin, which is actually interesting since Muradin is extremely strong. But on this map, some teams will even prioritize a Johanna over Muradin because of the wave clear. So it's interesting to see that TempoStorm values Muradin highly enough on a map like Tomb of the Spider Queen to pick him in the first rotation.
Yeah, it is very interesting to see. We like you said, we have seen a lot of Muradin in very early picks, but I personally would have preferred that TAS. I think the TAS would have worked out, just given them more options moving on. and there is a chance for Cognitive to steal it now. But Li Ming is first on their list. Good AoE, good damage, and on this map, if you go for the orb build we've been seeing most players go for lately, you can just you have a better chance of hitting stuff because the map is so small. You have more opportunities.
I wonder if they are going for an ETC here together with her. That would be one of the things that I'm a little bit curious about. Do they go for an ETC now or not? Because Muradin is taken, so you couldn't go ETC, or you can just simply say, we don't really care if you ban him out, because if you do, we're going to pick Johanna. We've seen teams, as I said before, that even prioritize a Johanna here. So they could just let the tank go for now, and instead add something else to the mix. And that could even be, for example, a Thrall, if they're really trying to play it super frontline heavy. So there's a couple of things that they could really play here. I mean, even the Zagara is, for example, a hero that you can still throw in the mix. Of course, if you do that, you have to be comfortable playing a solo tank at the front line. There's like a ton of ways how you can actually deviate from the draft that they already have. It's a very, very flexible start for Cognitive here so far.
Yeah, give themselves a lot of options, but right now, not a lot of time. Running down their time pool quite a bit. So they need to make up their mind quite soon. It's not as late as the first one. Yeah, ETC being hovered over and probably locked in. We'd actually see Cloud9 during their first game actually run their time pool all the way down to 0 before locking in the 0 tool.
As kind of expected that ETC, so the first pick that we were theorizing about. I kind of like that choice right now. There's a lot that they can do with it. But yeah, let's find out what TempoStorm is going to ban out here. I mean, it's going to be interesting, for example, especially if this is going to be the last game of the day. I mean, guys, we've been casting 8.5 hours in a row now already. So we're getting a little bit tired. Actually, we've been casting throughout the entire night. In Germany, it's currently 6:30 a.m. So we started at 10 p.m. yesterday. Quite some time there. TempoStorm with a ban on Uther, already denying the Divine Shield here. And Cognitive, yeah, they still think that Illidan might be something that TempoStorm is going to play. And as we said before, Illidan has started to appear a little bit more often to the Spider Queen, and Cognitive, they don't want to run any risks here.
Yeah, he would, like, they already have ETC and Zul, but they don't have a huge amount of other protection against it. So yeah, getting rid of Illidan, just removing that option makes a lot of sense for Cognitive. So TempoStorm going to get first pick on support, and they're going to steal the Rhaegar, seeing as they've already banned the Uther, so they don't need to take that away because of ETC. So just picking up the support that they think will work best for them.
It's of course going to be interesting to see how Cognitive is going to play in regards to support now, because we could still see them with the Malfurion here. We have also the option to simply head into a Karazim, but Kel'Thas is on the other side, so a Malfurion is a bit more likely. Or they could try and go for a double support option, which I doubt a bit. I mean, they could try and play that, but I really feel that overall they're probably going to look at a bit of a different setup here. We're getting ahead of ourselves. TempoStorm right now with Rhaegar, so they have that for going for them. They need to still use the bot lane, and I expect Thrall, and that's what they're aiming here for. Okay, so they pick him. Doesn't really come as a huge surprise. Only question is, will they... I guess they will potentially head into that Tassadar last, and now Cognitive has to make the choice. Double support with Tassadar, yes or no? And Tassadar has AoE, so they can actually do that. If they really want to, they can play the Tassadar, have him with his Storm, and then add another healer, where they could, for example, even drop a Malfurion. But as I said at the beginning of the draft, Zagara would be strong on this map. I would like her here too, but that means you can't go into the Tassadar and would leave it for TempoStorm, who are most likely going to pick him.
Yeah, unless you want to go several patches ago EU style and run the Tassadar as the sort of support. But we haven't seen that for quite a while. Be much safer for them to pick up Karazim or something like that as the last pick. But that would mean Karazim into Kel'Thas, so Malfurion makes a lot more sense. You can spread the healing out and stay at range so that the living bombs do not spread.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense to go for that setup, but TempoStorm will counter with a Tassadar here. Malfurion taken, and Tassadar should be the option for them. Would give them the most utility overall, but also, of course, in this case, then also great support for Thrall in particular. So that would be a solid choice. There are a few other picks. If you want to play way more aggressive than they already are, you can still go into another range damage dealer. That would be something that they can do if they feel the need for it. There's a couple of choices here. If you want to have, you can, for example, like play a Vala in this setup. A hero that I really don't expect to see on a North American server in this constellation would be a Lunara. She's sometimes played actually like play quite a bit in the European scene. And as the third option, that Falstad is still available. And they actually go for it. They play the aggressive style instead of heading into a Tassadar. It's an interesting choice, especially since with Tassadar they also had an additional tool against Zagara's Creep Tumors.
Yeah, and they do get the tool with the form of Falstad, but it's much less efficient than Oracle, much less efficient than the Psystorm. But Falstad gives them a lot of fight potential, gives them the Mighty Gust to counter the Mosh Pit and to just remove Malfurion. Second they pop Tranquility, immediate disengage. Really wasted Tranquility, so it gives Falstad a lot of efficiency in that way.
Yeah, so we have our draft completed, guys, and this is game number 2, so we're going to jump right in and we're going to find out which team is going to take it here on Tomb of the Spider Queen. And keep in mind that Cognitive is already up 1-0, so if they win here, it would be a 2-0 victory over TempoStorm, and TempoStorm eliminated out of the group. So let's find out together if that's going to happen or if TempoStorm can fight back into the series. Game number 2, ladies and gentlemen, and it is TempoStorm against Cognitive. And, well, to the left side of the map, we're having 6 on Rhaegar. We see Tomster on Thrall this time, Goku on Falstad, Erho on Muradin, and KO is playing Kel'Thas. To the right side of the map, their opponents, Cognitive, with an interesting game 1 and a very surprising victory, I want to say. They have Caterpillar this time on ETC. We're seeing Korth and Luck on Zagara. Faye on Li Ming. Malfurion is played by Ayakona, and we have Glorang on Zul. It is definitely a setup in which both of these teams have a lot of opportunities to claim the prize. It's all about those turn-ins once again, of course. And yeah, for TempoStorm, it would be a bit of a disaster, losing in the group stage already and dropping out of the tournament.
Yeah, and the phrase again comes to mind. TempoStorm has a huge amount of pedigree, but they've had a couple lands where they haven't performed as much as that pedigree would suggest. But we saw them in the first game, despite losing it. They were so strong looking. It was really cool to see.
Sorry, we have rotations happening already. And we're seeing a boomerang build for Falstad. We have at the same time, of course, nothing really too crazy. Moonburn has been taken, Power Hungry and Rendered Constitution, the talents on Li Ming and also on Zagara. The bot lane pressure with Thrall and also Zagara is currently like going strong, so it's the usual solo lane that you would expect here. We're still seeing on the side of Kel'Thas the mana addict, which of course makes sense on this map since it's one of the best globe maps that we have in the pool. But pressure play in the middle, where Cattle is currently a bit low in his ETC, has taken a lot of damage here actually from Kel'Thas in the pool.
Yeah, and he is, however, able to bounce it up, and he is still completely fine, still able to continue the rotations with Li Ming. They will grab most of the minion XP. They do miss a little, but for now, XP staying fairly even for the teams with First Blood yet to be found.
Glorang, locked down against Zul, but he is getting away. The problem is Thrall isn't, so... Okay, this is like one of the shittiest feeling in Heroes of the Storm. You gank actually someone, you are in an advantageous situation with a 3 versus 2, and all of a sudden you not only do you not kill one, you actually lose one of your heroes, and you lose gems in the process. I mean, that is always a bit of a pain, so that was a very unfortunate start for TempoStorm.
Yeah, it was a very solid play by Zul, though, just dropping that root on Thrall while he was still in tower range, and Thrall got rooted down. Took a scythe to the face, took some tower shots, and got played out. It's just an incredibly quick reaction for some good counterplay.
Yeah, it was really well played by Glorang, and I mean, of course, we all know that Erho and Glorang are great friends, so he's probably not going to be too upset that his buddy was making this big play here. But Glorang securing not only the kill, but also starting to deliver quite a lot of those gems to the spot. Faye, on the other hand, is incredibly low and barely gets out of there with a quick teleport. So that was well done. Glorang about to move in again. Erho is still there, welcoming him with a quick clap. Having both of the teams now on level 4. And again, the quest for the gems. And by now we are getting very, very close to the team in red having enough to turn in. But the problem for them is that they actually lose Zagara. But they still rescue all of the gems.
Yeah, we see Malfurion able to pick up all of those. And now Goku and Tomster are going to be able to push this bottom lane quite a bit. Malfurion can put up a bit of a fight. But overall, XP starting to move a little bit in favor of TempoStorm. Not a huge amount, but just a little bit. Arrow attempts to turn in 15 gems. Faye having none of it. And she will just continue to throw abilities at him until he stops.
We have seen a huge focus on the orb build overall today, and Triumvirate has already been chosen for Faye on her Li Ming on level 4. The teams are heading into level 7 as the next talent, but a slight lead still for TempoStorm right now. And again, of course, gems everywhere, and by now we have enough for both teams. Actually, so far only for Cognitive to get the turn in, and they're trying to make that happen right now, and they might be able to complete it here.
Yeah, there's not a huge amount of defense here, and that's how the turning does happen for Cognitive. But Aero is going very aggressive. He's found a lot of members. Goku, drop low, gets the healing from the Rhaegar. They're trying to focus down Cattle. Nice barrel roll to dodge out the stun there. But Goku's getting Hunter Killer. They do get ETC though.
Yeah, they get ETC, and that's of course very unfortunate timing. I mean, yes, the death timer is not really too great at this point, but still they're starting to push in with the Web Weavers, and if you're in a 4 versus 5, you really don't want to go too ham. But you have to really get some value out of the first Web Weaver wave, and that is what Zagara is attempting to do at the bot lane right now. She already dropped, of course, the ammunition on both these towers a long time ago. Falstad flying in, Cawthon already on his way into the mid lane, so at least he dodges that.
Yeah, so now we're seeing Cognitive pushing in everything they can. They've left bottom lane because too many people down there, and Web Weaver had already taken too much damage. They've now cleared everything in the mid lane, so they're just going to leave the Web Weaver except for Glaurung, because he wants to hang around and get any more skeletons he can out of this Web Weaver. But has to back up. Too many people, too risky, and Web Weaver's nicely cleared up by TempoStorm, but a slight XP lead being gathered by Cognitive here.
Yeah, they were also able to take down a few of the wells, especially the one up at the mid lane. We're having still level 7 for both teams now, and that means also battle momentum for Muradin. So he's in a situation where he's going to try and get his cooldowns ready. Talking about getting stuff ready, they're trying to turn in to get those Web Weavers ready now, and we have 4 Phase Ace Vengeance on Li Ming claimed. We're seeing Ratma's Blessing and Dragul's Essence, full focus on the Skeleton Warrior. Missing that Gravity Lapse. Cattle with a bit of extra damage against Erho, who's up at the front line here. Uh-oh, they're going for Zul. Glaurung is dead, and TempoStorm with kill number 3.
Arrow almost getting taken out as well, but they did not have enough cooldowns to land the finishing blow. And right now we're taking a lot of trading damage from Goku here, but she is able to get out, as is Goku. And both teams go back to harassing each other over the turn-in points, with TempoStorm having more than enough gems to get the full turn-in, but Cognitive not having any of it. And the Cognitive have fallen a little bit behind in XP here.
The thing is that TempoStorm has actually also had an experience which is quite incredible if you think about the Web Weaver wave that we already saw for Cognitive. So this is definitely a very strong play of TempoStorm already. If they get the Web Weaver turn in, that would be a bit of a disaster, to be honest, for your side of Cognitive, because there's a lot of gems for them. So they would get a lot of momentum, head into potentially the earlier level 10, and that's something that Cognitive should try to deny.
Yeah, right now they just need to keep an eye on Arrow, as he is just a huge source of gems for TempoStorm right now. And that's exactly what they were doing. They're trying to keep sight on him at all times, so they know where those 28 gems are. Right now they appear to have lost him though. Creep will barely see this, I think. But Zagara, there you go, heading up there, but she's too slow. There's the turn in, and Arrow gets the set of Web Weavers for TempoStorm.
This is scary. This is really scary right now. We're having Web Weavers coming down, and level 10 is just around the corner. Drop 1-2 towers, and that's about it. They're attempting to drop Goku before the Web Weavers are even here, but that doesn't work. If they now lose one of their own, then that would be a disaster. But they are able to just like move away. But the Web Weavers, as already pointed out, they are on their way to the top lane, to the mid lane, to the bot lane, especially up here at the top. They should get quite a bit of value.
Yep, they should be able to push quite high. We've got Li Ming up there trying to defend it, but both teams just racing towards those 10s mid-Web Weaver. Moving onto the towers with the full support of TempoStorm, except for Thrall, who is soaking it. That's up to 10 hit just in advance for TempoStorm here. Cognitive very close behind.
Yeah, very close behind indeed, and that gives us now, again, the Skeleton Mages on the side of Zul. They're having also Li Ming at the top with their Disintegrate, using it against the Web Weaver wave already. Zagara defending the bot, and actually overall, Cognitive is defending against this quite easier than I thought, but they might still lose a few heroes here. Glaurung is moving in, he uses the Bone Prison against Thrall. Zagara moves in now too, tries to put some pressure onto Erho, but he is still able to move out. The Dwarf just too strong, at least for now.
Yeah, he is very tanky. Didn't even have to use Avatar, so he's able to get out there quite impressively. So for now, Cognitive just continuing to roam around, just taking a bit of map control due to TempoStorm having just blown most of their gems on that last turn-in. Now it is Cognitive's turn to turn in, which things they are currently holding 65 gems.
It's actually like a pretty fun game so far. The experience lead they receive for TempoStorm is not really as incredible as I thought it would be, because originally it really looked like they would be able to get far ahead with the first Webweaver wave. But as is, especially to Glorong also, and all of that siege damage that he has, he's just pushing these lanes back. And just look at all the damage that the wave itself is already doing at the top lane. One of the towers is about to be dropped, and Falstad had to fly in to really help out there. So that opens up an opportunity at the bottom where they can turn 20 gems in again. Faye is also on the case here. Erho is also taking a lot of damage already. Goku trying to flank with a nice attempt to go for the Mighty Gust, but not really doing too much yet. Not really going for that isolation that he was looking for. It's a very cool and intense battle on this second map that we are seeing between the two teams.
Yeah, both these teams, once again, just staying very close in XP. A lot of damage onto Tomster. He gets taken out, and they can guard those gems there, which is going to be a big set loss for TempoStorm here. Cognitive getting a very important kill.
Yeah, not only the important kill, they are very close to a turn-in. They only miss one gem, and they have again a massive push going at the bot lane. This is amazing for them. With all the wave clear that they have, they can really start to pressure the forts now intensely. As long as they don't lose a hero while the web weavers are traveling, they are going to be in an amazing spot to get that early level 13 talent and get ahead over TempoStorm. Cognitive find themselves in a very nice situation here to save a lead for themselves.
Yeah, and that's what they're going to try and do. They need to grab the lead and secure it. The Weavers finally arriving. Disintegrate, just dropping as a zoning form, really. Same with the Skeletal Mages. They might have wanted to try and engage, but it was not happening with how TempoStorm were positioning. Cognitive going to now push the top lane. The Web Weaver there is a bit stuck behind some minions, but it will be prepared to help them push by the time they are all ready and there for it.
Yeah, and at the bot lane we're seeing the same picture. Web Weavers are pushing in, towers are dropped at the top, level 13 talents are ready. Cognitive is really starting to gain a bit of momentum here. Glass Cannon on Li Ming, we are seeing the Skeleton Explosion, Corpse Explosion taken on level 13. Now with a Spell Shield on ETC, he is the only tank, so he wants to be a little bit more tanky and able to have more sustain. We're seeing a lot of experience dropping into the hands of Cognitive now though, and that's a very nice lead that they have. Bot lane was defended. Creep on the other hand, I want to point that out as well, is very decent on the map. So there's a lot of creep spread that we're currently seeing for Cognitive, and therefore a very, very good vision that they have to see where exactly TempoStorm is coming from.
Yeah, Khaldor has been doing a very solid job with that creep spread and really denying vision so that he can't get caught out of position with the rest of his team. Another fort down, and by another fort we mean the last fort remaining for TempoStorm here. So currently it is going to be 3 keeps and 3 forts to just 3 keeps in favor of Cognitive. So we're going to be moving in at the moment, just clearing the lanes, grabbing more gems so they can work their way towards their next turn.
Things are actually looking very good for Cognitive right now. I mean, they're not crazily ahead. It's not like they have the talent, but they are still in the position where they have, from a structural point of view, a very solid advantage over their opponent. So that's going to help them if they can win a few more fights here. TempoStorm has to be incredibly careful right now. If they start to tilt here after that last game, then their tournament life could be very short, since this is a game that they have to win. They need to win here on Tomb of the Spider Queen, or they are out of Dreamhack Austin. So right now everything is on the line for them. They really need to bring their A game right now and concentrate, because just one missed opportunity is going to make sure that Cognitive advances to the next match in this group.
Yeah, but right now being almost in fact exactly a full level behind is making it very difficult for TempoStorm. However, they just found Glorong, but he's able to back out. In comes Cattle, not able to grab Comster. Falstad flying in, looking for the opportunity here to try to focus out ETC. The Tranquility, though, trying to keep him alive, and Cattle gets picked off by Arrow.
Yeah, once again, ETC down, and that's a problem. Look at Goku, he has 200 hit points, he has 100 hit points, but it doesn't matter, it's Glorong who dies and not Falstad. A double kill for TempoStorm. Things are looking much better now for them. They can take at that turn in and start to claim some experience and close the gap between the two of them. But these kills were so close. It actually looked for a long time like ETC would be saved as well, but then that sundering coming through of Tomster, making sure that he was just barely not in range of Tranquility and was easily dropped.
Yeah, a beautiful split, just completely separating the team in half. And it worked out perfectly, so TempoStorm can keep doing that. And they have good potential here. But Cognitive not going down without a fight. Everyone is alive again. And they're just running people into lanes, getting ready to soak, getting ready to clear because they are now on the Webweaver defense.
This is actually one of the incredible things, that with all the forts still in play, we still see TempoStorm on roughly the same experience than Cognitive. Meaning that if they are able to drop all of these forts, all of a sudden they would be massively ahead in XP. And it already seems like they are going to pick up that level 16 talent faster than their opponent. Fawcett is at the bot lane, starting to pressure the keep down there, the fort. And yeah, things are looking good for them now. They started to turn around again with that double kill earlier. That was exactly what they needed. And here they are, the talents. We're seeing them with the Sun King's Fury. We have Stone Form taken, Hammer Time now with that Gathering Storm build, of course, that Fawcett has been working towards. We're seeing Tempest Fury after Grace of Air, and we have the Earthquest Totem. 16 versus 16 in talents, and 2 of the forts eliminated.
Yeah, and that is making it very difficult for Cognitive to really make just any play on the map right now. They had so much control for such a long time, but with TempoStorm getting a lot of control. Look where they're positioned. Second these Webweavers are gone, the boss is immediately starting. It's a risky move, and so risky that they're actually going to back up because Cognitive, they know they're immediately moving up here. And how risky, how much of a face check are they going to do? Cat's actually very much face check, and he could have died here. But in come Tempo, looking for a pick, not able to land the gravity lapse though.
Yeah, skeletal mages are there. Catalyst trying to go for Airho, not really working for him just yet. Oh my god, Goku! That heal that we saw from Rega there, that was a close call, but they are able to make it work.
Yeah, so right now we're actually seeing Casper just attempting to turn in his gems here. They do have enough for a turn in on the side of Cognitive. And with all their lanes cleared, they're fine to do all this fighting here. If they can look for an opportunity. Cattle looking for his chance, his moment to just turn the game completely in their favor. Gloron getting chased, but it's forcing a couple people to group up a bit. In comes Cattle. There he goes with the power side. Does not mosh though. He was a bit unsure. Would only have got 2 people there.
Yeah, didn't mosh, but Tranquility is out. That's an issue. They have to either fight or they have to back, one of the two. And if they fight, then they have to do it soon. Tranquility is already gone. Cattle is in a bit of trouble, but still the poke on Fate, delivering solid damage over and over again. They have a well at the top, and that's actually a huge advantage that they have over TempoStorm right now. It gives them a lot of sustain for this particular fight.
Yeah, and there we go. They're going to try and get Goku here. There's the root, followed by another root with the Mighty Gust as disengaged. There's the Thunder Ring. TempoStorm using this as their moment, trying to take down Zul. They get Zul with the counter engage onto KO. KO survives. There's 2 Hydra, there's 2 Mutalists following him here. But Arrow gets turned on. It's going to be 1 kill to 0 in favor of TempoStorm unless they can turn it very quickly on KO or Arrow, who is currently chasing them.
Yeah, they still have the gems, by the way, but they just can't turn them in. They lost Zul. We still haven't really seen a lot from Zagara and also ETC when it comes down to the heroic ability. They didn't really ever feel comfortable just dropping that Maw or dropping that Mosh Pit. So it's something that we're still waiting for here. And of course, that's a huge threat against TempoStorm. But at the same time, it's also something that they need to commit to at some point if they really want to win this game, because they need to win a fight.
Yeah, they have to just commit here. Just, you don't have to land them all in the same area. Just land one on one set of people and one on the other set of people. It can work out in your favor. Zul is now alive as well. Cattle actually really zones from his team here. Oh, the ice block from Malfurion, baiting in Muradin and Thrall. In comes BTC. There's the Mosh.
He goes for the motion. There's the damage. The double kill. No, Goku survives. No, he doesn't. Yes, he does. Everybody's on the run. How on earth are KO and Goku still alive? How is this a 1-for-1 trade? Unbelievable. The Maw against 2. Maybe now the kill. They're trying to go for it, and it is a kill against Thrall. Maybe Arrow is also falling. I still cannot understand though how Fawcett was able to survive this. And KO as well. Unbelievable that they were able to escape here. Now the lockdown against Muradin, and they get another kill against him. A 3-for-1 trade overall. It could have been a team wipe, but as is, they are going to get that turn in, and they claim another camp at the bottom of the map.
Yeah, so now this bottom lane going to have a huge amount of pressure in it, and the Webweavers going to de-push top, keep the pressure on and allow Cognitive a lot more freedom. And with ETC already back, they're going to be able to push as a group, whereas because of the staggered deaths from TempoStorm, they now have a little bit to wait before they can group up and really take any fights anymore.
This is such a close game. I mean, 7 kills against 5, 18.5 versus 18.5. They more or less exchange web weaver waves the entire time. And yeah, it's incredibly close. And we are seeing again the mid lane being pushed right now. Muradin is still down though for another few seconds, but he will be back in time for the defense here. But the teams are now both looking for an opportunity to break through the wall and start to pressure Key. And maybe even get a kill, but KO is back a little bit too fast for ETC to take advantage of the position.
Yeah, that's still not going to stop them pushing in as a team. They don't have much, they don't have more, but they're still trying to grab someone. The Mighty Gust even used, and that does push the minion wave back, which means the Web Weaver can be focused on its own. And that really does scupper the chances of Cognitive taking a keep here, but the pressure is still on. All the Web Weavers already cleared up. Great clearing by TempoStorm.
Yeah, really good clearing. We have a very, very short, it's like really tiny amount of experience that is still missing for level 20, and that Storm talent could give them an edge. They have still 31 gems that they can turn in, but let's not forget that TempoStorm has actually enough to turn in and get a web wave on their own. Look at that creep spread, by the way. It's beautiful, and that's one of the things why we said earlier that a Tassadar would also be good in this draft, because then Zagara has a bit of a rougher time establishing such a great creep spread. But of course, if you go into that false stat, you at least have some additional damage that you can push out. Very different styles of play and styles of drafts here, with advantages and disadvantages to them. But one of the big disadvantages to TempoStorm with this one is that they are in a situation where Cognitive is always in the know of where they are, thanks to that incredible creep spread that they're running.
This is risky. Cognitive going to attempt to get the boss here. TempoStorm on the way, but Falstad is actually quite a way out, but he just got Epic Mount, which may help him get in. TempoStorm on the way. Skeletal Mage is coming down. Arrow trying to zone out here, and that's actually going to land a boss stun onto ETC and Malfurion. Malfurion getting focused down. He has to pop the ice block here.
The ball! Did you see the ball? That could be the mosh pit. Yes, he goes in! Can they get the damage? The kill against 4.
The boss is killing everyone! The boss is
this?
killing Cognitive!
Oh my god, holy shit, like what just happened? The Maw of the Ages is being dropped by Khaldor. The boss actually with a stun against 2, and it looked for a moment like Zul and ETC would both die to the boss or be eliminated by TempoStorm, but then the Maw of Khaldor saves them all and sets Cattle up so he can use the mosh pit, and Li Ming gets reset after reset and goes for it. Tetcher, this is gonna be game. This is gonna be TempoStorm eliminated as the last team in the group.
Yeah, that's it. Arrow just desperately trying to defend this here, but there's 20 seconds before anyone's left. Down goes Arrow, and that is GG. And Cognitive will move on to the next round. Very well played by them. Commiserations to TempoStorm.
Great play, 2-0 victory of Cognitive versus TempoStorm, and well, Cognitive, they move on. Well played here at Dreamhack Austin.